Welcome to Crappens. Don't wait a week for a new video. Join our Patreon at the Crappens On Demand level for instant recap access. Link in description. Enjoy the show. Oh, hello, and welcome to Watch What Crappens, the podcast for all that crap we love to talk about on Yield Ravs. I'm Ronnie. That's Ben. Hello, Ben.
Hi, Ronnie. How are you?
Good, great, wonderful. Everybody, welcome to the show. Today, we are recapping Real Housewives of Orange County. Earlier this week, we did a Patreon exclusive trailer trash, which is where we trash a trailer. And this week, it was the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. It's a new show about hashtag mom talk, which is coming to Hulu. It looks great. We were talking about recapping that whole show, but it all comes out in one day, so we're not really sure how feasible that's going to be. But we also have heard about a show called Chimp Crazy that's on Max. It's supposed to be good. It's by the makers of the Tiger King. So we are going to check that out next week. So join us. We've got all sorts of new stuff happening over here while Bravo languishes. But you know what? When they're languishing, they're still serving. What they are serving, they're serving well. Okay,
they are.
I mean to say.
And by the way, in other news, something that is new on our programming is that you're celebrating your birthday on Sunday. So everyone wish Ronnie a happy birthday over this weekend. Don't do it until Sunday.
It's going to be my last year of the 50s. It's the last year of my 40s, everyone.
No, really? I thought you were like 47. I thought you were no, you're not.
I'm 48. 49. Yes, I'm 48 right now, and I will be 49 the next episode we do. This is the last episode of my 48th year, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow. I think this is actually your 49th.
Come here, old man.
To be honest, because your first year is when you're 0. Anyway,
I always have trouble with that math.
I think that's how it works. That's why it's like really 2001 is the new millennium. No.
Well, I was born in 75 and it's 24 and I'm going to be 49. So there you go.
No, but meaning that like your first year is actually before year 1. So you're concluding your 49th year as you hit 49. Like you have not done a full 49 years, but by the time you hit your birthday, you've done a full 49 years.
Oh, God, Ben, thanks. Way to save that one.
But know what, though? You're in Los Angeles, so you're really just 33.
No, in Los Angeles, I'm like 97. Who makes it to almost 50 in LA? Everybody else is gone. They're like, bye. Well, why would I stay there? I'm aging. I'm like, I'm aging. This is great. Everyone thinks I'm a rich producer because I'm just like some older, fat, bald guy. So people like assume that I'm like a Harvey Weinstein or, well, like pre-scandal, maybe like I can help them in some way. But guess what? It's not going to happen. Okay. I trick you. I'm just going to try and make you buy me ice cream at some point.
Ooh, we love
that. Big game plan. That's my big game plan in LA. I'm like, maybe I can find someone to buy me some ice cream. It's my behind the music.
Very specific OnlyFans account. It's like you pay with ice cream cones.
I'll take it. Okay, anyway, no one knows what we're talking about, but guess what? It doesn't matter because I'm old. Okay, I'm old and doddering. So let's get to
Kelly doddering.
God,
I'm old.
Okay, let's talk about Real Housewives of the OC, which stands for Orange County, for anyone who's new here.
Someone all this time is so confused about what OC stood for. Well, I thought it stood for L'Occitane Central. It's where you go for get a lot of nice soaps. So we are back in La Quinta. Oh, look, there is Bueller, by the way. If you're watching with Crappens on Demand, as you should, you can watch Bueller licking himself.
Licking his wiener. How was it?
Licking that wiener.
Did you have a good time? Did you find everything that you needed?
Look at Bueller found his light. I just have to say, if this is not an advertisement for Patreon, and it is an announcement, we are streamlining our Patreon. Stay tuned. We'll have more instructions once that is all done. But we'll make it a lot easier for everyone to sign up.
Bueller's wiener's clean, apparently, so he's done with that. So let's get into Real Housewives of Orange County.
Oh, I forgot to mention something.
God damn it.
Speaking of Bueller, I received a letter from Bueller saying I owe him $75,000 after everything I bought for Bueller, and I owe him. Let me tell you something. Your dog, Ronnie, is not getting a cent from me. Not a cent.
I paid for the London hotel. 4 rooms.
4 rooms for Bueller. And it says right here that Bueller, Mr. Bueller, he has no middle name.
He does. His middle name is Tivis, actually.
Mr. Bueller Tivis. See, that, and he never even shared that with me all this time. And now I owe him money. I owe him money for him to be closed off to me? I don't think so.
I could do now. Thank you so much for your kindness. Thank you. You've all been so kind to me. These ladies have not been kind to you. What are you talking about? They've dragged you by the hair, face down through the mud every single episode this season. What are you talking about? It's like, they're just so kind.
The show. This is such a shit show of an episode. It's amazing. So good. I don't know why Bravo has tucked this show off on a Thursday night. I guess maybe it's not tucked off on a Thursday night. It just feels that way. It feels like it should be like a Sunday night show right now. So we are back in La Quinta, dueling girls trips. We're at Elizabeth Vargas's listing. Everyone's waking up. Emily and Gina are in the kitchen, and there are apparently 4 Brita pitchers on the counter, which I didn't even notice.
People have been mentioning that in the comments all week.
Hilarious.
Like, oh my God, how come you guys didn't comment on the Britas? Like, hello, did you not notice the Britas? No, I didn't notice. But also, is anyone really shocked that Elizabeth Vargas lives in an $11 million house with dirty water? I mean, doesn't that just sound so on brand with her?
You spend all this money in this house, but you don't install like a filter. Like just one of those like pure filters on the faucet.
Yeah.
Right.
We didn't have it the way I grew up. The way I grew up, we were always running from Jesus lovers and sitting by a creek, just sitting by a creek, singing each other musical songs. It's raining of the day, we can get water. We used to filter water through our bras. That's how we grew up.
Unbelievable, undeniable. Let me tell you the story of our British. 1 British for the man I used to love. 1 British for the man I hope to love. 1 British for my mama because she deserves a Brita. And the last one is for you.
So we are back at Elizabeth Vargas's house, and Gina's like, oh my God, chili does not smell good in the morning. I'm just going to put that out there. Oh, disgusting. Yeah, chili does not last. Why is anybody bringing chili? Stop bringing chili places.
I have a bombshell announcement. Chili doesn't smell good at any time of the day. It's morning, evening, lunch. It may taste good. I have yet to ever smell a chili that smells good.
Really? Not even when it's cooking? You're not like, wow, the smell of that chili.
I'm always like, chili smell. But then I eat it. I'm like, oh, it's good.
So then we go to the Big Bear Babs. They're waking up at Tammy's house. And we see the mess that they've left all over the place. There's like sweaty bear costumes and pie from Tamara's feet laying around.
Yeah, it was smart because they left out their dirty dishes overnight, and the ceiling leak just washed it all away. It was great.
Yeah, and Tamara goes to check on the girls sleeping in the twin beds, and Jen's like, "Oh my God, Tamara, this was so good. Tamara, thank you so much. This was really amazing. Thank you so much for everything. What a twin bed. This was great. Sleeping in this twin bed. It's really freezing in here. I'm freezing to death. It's been great, Tamara. You're such a good friend."
I loved. What was great was that I felt like that little drip of water coming from the ceiling on my forehead. It felt like someone was kissing me a goodnight, like all night long. It was just so comforting. I think I may have pneumonia though.
It just felt like being waterboarded, and I remember reading a lot about waterboarding. And I would think to myself, you know what? At least people are asking you questions. I mean, that means that they have an interest in you. You know what? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, interrogators. Thank you.
Yeah, because you only put things on boards that you want to give to people you love. So Tamara's like, yeah, we laughed, we cried.
Why don't we cheese board terrorists? You know what? If we really want information from terrorists, we should really cheese board them. A little charcuterie goes a long way. Who doesn't open up around a little charcuterie? Am I right? Thank you, terrorists. Thank you for coming over for wine and cheese. Thank you so much.
What about a butterboard? I guarantee that's a way to get a terrorist to talk. You just like, okay, sir, we're going to make you watch butterboard tutorials until you talk. It's like, okay, I'm done. I can't watch the butterboards anymore.
Oh God, the butterboards.
I'll tell
Is
you
that
everything.
trend still going?
I don't think so.
I told you about my mom's butterboard, right? She's like, we're
Yes.
doing a butterboard. And they put like 10 different kinds of butter on a board. And like within 30 minutes, it was all melted and slopped together all over it was the most disgusting thing ever. Whoever came up with that, stop watching TikTok. Just stop it.
I will say that the butterboard trend I think is done, but you know what trend Tamara's keeping alive? She has a butter dish that says butter. I noticed that in her kitchen. Butter. She just loves. I guess she's easily confused by what food is in what container. You know, so she's like, huh. I wonder what sort of rectangle is under this porcelain cloche.
Hey, I thought this was a Snickers dish. Where the fuck is my Snickers?
Better. Like, again, I'm just always laughing because, you know, we talked about this once at a live show that in her old home she had a piece of art up in her kitchen that said focaccia. And I just love the idea that she went into a store and saw something that said focaccia. I was like, yes, I want that. I need a focaccia poster in my kitchen because I need to remind people that this is a place where you might possibly get focaccia. And so she goes into Marshall's and sees a butter dish that says butter and is like, that's very helpful. That's good. We need that. Okay. Because it could be the condom dish. We don't know. Batch.
I may get Betsy sometimes, but my bread is bubbly. Yeah, I forgot you.
Okay, so Jen. Okay, so they talk about how much they laughed together. God, didn't we laugh, girls? Didn't we have fun? And then we see a clip of last night where they're really struggling to laugh. Like, ha ha ha, this is so fun. Girls' night. Ah ha ha. Ah ha ha. Ah.
Tamara's like, I really like Katie. Mainly because she, doesn't like Heather. And Jen's like, I like Katie too. Thank you so much. And then Alexa's like, oh yeah, I really like her. She's a good girl. She's a good girl. And Tamara says, but how are we going to convince Heather to like her? And how Alexis goes, well, Heather's hard-headed. And Jen's like, she is? Yeah, she's hard-headed. And then it does a smash cut to Heather with a cleaver smashing a pineapple, and I lost it. I was like, I'm done. I am done. I don't need to watch any more of this episode. The fact that Heather found a cleaver, like that is the singular most terrifying image is Heather Dubrow with a cleaver just slicing it down on the pineapple.
Yeah, especially with those beady eyes, just like, I love pineapple. How about you?
If you ever take away this tropical fruit from me, it will cost you a lot. Heather Dubrow with a hatchet is like the singular most terrifying image that we could have launching into this weekend. Like, and she just comes down so authoritatively with it. I just don't even think. I know it's an $8 million house. They don't have a water filter, but they do have a hatchet. And I'm sorry, it's not a hatchet, a cleaver. I've been saying hatchet. It's a cleaver. And like the fact that she found it and was like, I will use this. I feel like most people are scared of cleavers. Although it's funny because I've been a little cleaver curious recently. I'm like, is it time for me to get a cleaver? But I'm like very scared of one. But Heather Dubrow just launches right in. She has no problem. She runs around her house with that, chasing the servants.
No, she probably has somebody else
She's very
doing
comfortable. She's who put the towels here?
She definitely just her look of terror. She's always had like a terror. I'm saying terrorist a lot today, but she's always had a terrifying look in her eyes just when they turn all black. But today I'm really noticing it here with the cleaver, and then I was noticing it in the opening thing where she's like, "I may like champagne. I may drink out of flutes, but that doesn't mean you can blame me." Just the way she looks into the camera, like I just feel my soul being sucked out of me. I just feel like my arms swing back. I just feel like I'm in a Satan movie. I just feel everything is thrusting forward towards the screen. I'm glad it's a short scene. I was like, damn, I almost lost my soul today.
I know. The more evil she is, the more I love her. I have to say, it's just the weirdest thing. The beat, like the darker her eyes get, the more she holds a terrifying weapon, the more she levels very, very scary threats at people, the more I'm like, yes, I am a total Heather Dubrow convert.
Well, you know what I love? I love a good hatchet job. Okay, Gina, but maybe less hatcheting at the hairdresser. Am I right, ladies? Poor Gina. Literally poor Gina. So they're making small talk over there, and Gina's like, there's something unresolved brewing between Emily and we. It's honestly the most uncomfortable feeling for me. Like, I hate it. Why is she doing? Have you noticed that she's like sort of slipping into a Boston accent? She's putting like an ooh on things where it doesn't go. Why is she faking an accent when she's really from Long Island?
I don't know. There's so many things about Gina that perplex me. So then Emily goes, well, I know how reactionary I am, which I'm like, it's reactive, not reactionary. Reactionary.
New Argentina, new. Hey, someone's singing a beat on my home.
I know how reactionary I am, which technically means deeply conservative. And if I say something immediately, I'll just be mean and aggressive, which is what she's accused me of. But so I'm just trying to think before I speak. Okay, hold on, let me think. All right, I'm ready to speak to Gina. You're so fucking stupid. Why are you acting like that? Sorry, I wasn't ready yet. I'm reactionary.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think before I speak.
Well, let me tell you, do not touch these skillets. Okay, I have cooked some bread, I think. I'm not really sure what's in here. What was that, Pat? What was that in the skillets, Ben?
Shannon Bedore had made 2 Dutch babies, 2 Dutch pancakes, if you will. And she has...
Is that what those were? Those looked amazing.
That's exactly what they were. They represented... One was to represent David. One was to represent John Jansen, which is that this relationship that once seemed very lofty and full of joy had actually cratered in the center. So enjoy breakfast, everyone.
Now they're just big gaping holes of despair. Dig in!
And if you touch them, you'll get burned. I'm so happy. I'm so happy with my choices.
So yeah, Shannon has she's made 2 beautiful looking Dutch babies. Which, by the way, like, if you don't think that Shannon is a top-tier housewife, like, has any other housewife in 20 years ever made, let alone 1 Dutch baby, or 1 Dutch baby, let alone 2. No, Shannon Bedore, like, I just bowed down to her. So she's made 2 Dutch babies. However, she takes these 2 pans out of the oven and puts them directly on the nice countertop, which I was like, I feel like that you're not supposed to do that. And so then, and everyone else, she puts them down and she goes, okay, everyone, now I want everyone to know that these pan handles are very hot, so don't touch them. It's very easy to forget. And if you touch them, like this, ow, 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 ow. See, that's what happens. It's easy to forget. So don't touch them like that. Ow, I did it again. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Are you supposed to even be putting those on that countertop? Here, put them on Alfredo. Alfredo. Wait. Where is Alfredo? Is there no Alfredo in this house?
Let me tell you something. You know what? Okay, everyone, my hand feels better now. Okay, now I want everyone to come over here and serve themselves. Do you want some? Ow! I just grabbed that handle again.
That's it. Hand me the cleaver. We're chopping off her hands.
So she burns herself again, and Gina goes,
that was so bizarre.
I cry. This was so Shannon to do that. She takes these, she literally lectures everyone about the panhandles, about why no one should touch them because they're blazing hot and it's easy to forget. And then when Heather says, can you put them on the countertop? She goes, oh, let me move them, and picks up both with her hands.
Yeah, that's our girl. So then we go back to the La Quinta ladies, and there's pills and a Red Bull on the counter, which, it's like all of our homes. And Jen's like, wait a minute, are you a Red Bull over coffee kind of a girl? And Alexis is like, you know what? I don't even know what's going on with my period, because like I'm on my period a lot and then I'm not on my period. So is it middle age? Am I going through my change? Like, is that what's happening? I really don't know anymore. And they're like, the question was Red Bull instead of a coffee, and then it went into menopause. I don't really need to know all of this. What do you think of butterboarding terrorists? Good idea or not?
I just want to remind you that if you're being clocked by me, Jen, you're doing something wrong. I don't clock people.
I don't even clock clocks. I don't even ask a clock what time it is, because you know what? The clock has its own life. It doesn't really need me bothering
It's providing such a service to us, and we're not even asking anything of it. It's not asking anything of us, I should say. We're asking a lot of it.
It's under a lot of stress. It just found out it has ticks. It's a good one. I saved that for my kids, but they don't listen to me. They're off toilet papering homes and terrorizing butterboards.
Which I support. It's their creative outlet. Apparently. So
For not raising your children. You know what it takes? A village. It takes a village to not raise a child. Really, it's a lot of ignoring going on. The butcher ignores, the baker ignores, the candle maker ignores. Where does terrorism come from? Why do I keep saying terrorism? Okay, let's move on with this.
Alexis is like, okay, like, so, okay, I'm so sorry. So, like, it's just like, what I'm trying to say is I love coffee, but like for the past 2 months, like I've not loved coffee because I think that my morning drink has just been the love that Johnny J pours into me. Like, he's just like so sweet, and like what he goes through every day, it just like breaks my heart. We're just like a duo, the two of us. And like, who needs coffee? Like, I'm caffeinated by the Lord and by Johnny J. There's just like, sometimes I get jitters and I realize it's because my heart is racing because of Johnny J. Like, there's just like so much. Like, you know what? Maxwell's house, they might as well call it Johnny J's house. Okay, I'm drinking so much coffee because of John. It's like, Alexa, stop it.
They're like, shut up. Tamara's,
Don't even ask her any more questions. God, take it back, please.
So then we go back to La Quinta, and now they're all drinking out of the pineapple Heather was slicing. Like, wow, pineapples, am I right? Heather's like, it was really fun murdering that pineapple.
At home.
So, this has been really fun, you guys. I thought we were going to have fun at golfing, but I didn't have fun. Do you know why? I was betrayed.
I didn't have fun because I didn't even get to have the Dom Perignon that I brought as a gift to Katie. Just want to pause and reflect on how expensive my gift was and how good of a person I am for giving it. Okay, continue.
Well, I had zero intention to bring our friend group into the fact that John Jansen is threatening to sue me and ruining my list, saying I owe him money. I'm hyperventilating. Someone put the Dutch baby up to my mouth.
Ow! Oh, I touched the pan. I was just supposed to touch the Dutch baby. It's a hard morning for me.
Here,
Well, let me
put your
just
hand,
tell you.
put your hand in the pineapple. It'll cool it down.
Let me just tell you, from the beginning, though, like from an optic standpoint, Shannon,
It didn't look good for you. It didn't look good for you, Shannon.
it didn't look good. It didn't look good for you, Shannon.
I don't know if I want to hear Gina talking about what looks good and what doesn't look good when she's presently talking to us with like a yellow towel over her head that's supposed to be her hair. I don't get it.
I love Emily talking about optics. Isn't she the one who was like drinking water from a dog bowl last season?
Isn't she the one married to Shane?
Seriously, you met your husband on G-Chat and it was Shane. Can we just stop with the optics talk?
I mean, honestly, okay, let me just finish this. It made you look like you had been dishonest about the relationship.
And she was like, "Oh, what? I mean, I just made 2 Dutch babies, and you're calling me dishonest. I mean,
They were Norwegian babies. They were.
Okay.
It's true.
it
is true.
It's true. It's from a different part of Europe, but okay, I'm feeling a little faint right now. I think I need to just hold on to something to steady myself. Ow! And panhandle. It's just everywhere.
So then she does the classic questioning herself.
Do I have stacks of my credit cards and canceled checks that prove that I showed him pay for stuff? Do I? I'm not even going to answer myself. That is how flustered I am. But I will do this with both of my hands. I will face the back of my palms at you, held straight, and then I will move them counterclockwise towards each other.
This is so serious. We're not even doing the crisscross hands. We're not even doing that. This is so serious. We're not even grabbing 2 small threads and pushing them towards you. This is a reverse palms swirling. This is a 5-alarm issue.
Oh, we believe you, Shannon. We believe you.
Do you? Because you were just saying it looked like she was a total liar. Like, make up your mind. She goes,
It doesn't say what I'm going through, you guys.
Shannon has always said that she paid for every single thing. However, not to sound like Gretchen, but however, sounds just like her. But, she said he never paid for a meal. And here's the problem. The whole basis of why Shannon's been upset all of these years is that he couldn't even pick up a meal. And now we find out that that's not true. That is why you should always listen to the defense before you send the jury off
to talk about things. Otherwise, you're just hearing the prosecution, and the prosecution makes a very good point. Then you threaten to kill the prosecution's family, and you settle out of court, and then Nicole tries to show up 10 years later and sue you, talk about suing you again for a bad boob job. I'm sorry, what were we talking about again?
You're welcome.
Can we re-murder Nicole? Bring Nicole back in here while I've still got this butcher knife.
For the record, that was my audition speech for the Practice season 2. So then Gina's like,
You know what? We knew that you were paying, or like you were paying for like a bunch of stuff at like the beginning, but like we didn't know that like this was like his attempt to like reimburse you. Like, and she's like, well, that was my understanding. I thought like facelift was reimbursement, and she's like, right, I understand that, but like no one knew that, so like none of us knew that.
and Shannon's like,
I want to give you all an example. It was his oldest daughter's birthday, and I thought, let's go on our family vacation. And because he was too cheap to go anywhere more than 40 miles away, we went up to Los Angeles, and I paid for 4 rooms at the London Hotel. And I said, well, we can't go to London because you're not rich enough. I'm not going to pay for your entire family. If you remember, there's 45 children that you have. So we're going to go to the London. And it was a wonderful weekend. It was close to 10 grand, and that's how generous I was. And he's telling me I owe him money. I brought him to a fairly decent hotel on Sunset Strip, and now I owe him money.
London is where they filmed Mary Poppins, and now he's trying to sue me.
Oh, it wasn't the real London.
Shut up, Heather. I mean, Emily.
I resent that.
So wait, were you trying to like buy the relationship? Were you trying to buy his love?
No, she was in love. She was in love. Listen, like, you're generous when you're in love. I mean, look how long I let Travis's kids pitch a tent in my guest bathroom.
You know, when you're in a relationship with someone, it feels like it's all in the same pot. Just ask Gina. All her children were sleeping in a pot.
I mean, in Gina's case, it is a crock pot. And that is literally where they all sleep. Okay, maybe we shouldn't start with Gina.
She really, she once saw the old woman in the shoe and thought, wow, I want to live like that.
But she couldn't afford a shoe. So she's an old woman living in a crock pot. Power went out a long time ago, so don't worry. She can't actually get cooked in it.
It wasn't a functional cauldron. It was a residential one.
Men's egos are attached to their wives. Let's just look at David. I guess his egos are also attached to sluts on the beach. But either way, I wasn't going to confront him. I just thought, I'm good. I'll just pay for it. I'll pay for this weekend for your ungrateful daughter. And that's what I did.
Well, can't you force like a mediation or something like that? I'm already paying my attorney to deal with it.
Well, maybe you should just cut out the attorney and send him an offer and say, listen, I'll give you 30 grand in a crock pot.
Wait a minute, I'm living there. No,
oh my God,
I refuse.
I can't believe I'm getting foreclosed on.
So Shannon's like,
I don't want to. I'm telling you, out of principle, I don't want to give him $1.
Then Gina goes,
I feel bad. I feel bad. It's just such a freaking slap in the face to me.
I'm so sorry, Shannon.
Oh, Shannon, I feel so bad. Shannon.
We support you until the next time I have to undermine you, and we'll figure it out. And whatever you need, someone will be there for you, Shannon, probably not me.
You just don't understand how overwhelmed I am with love right now. I
was like, I did not see that coming. I thought she was going to say, I'm so overwhelmed with, I don't know, being shat upon. But because these ladies didn't shit on her for 5 minutes, she's like, oh my God, so much love. How are you thanking these people for being loving? They've been horrible to you.
They just said it was
Gina and Emily.
They literally just said, "Oh yeah," when John saying that he is owed $75,000. That's a bad look for you, Shannon. And Heather saying, "Well, I guess it's good to know the full story because we always thought it was one way, but it turns out Shannon was wrong." It's like,
you guys have been so supportive to me, Heather. You standing there with that cleaver, threatening to chop off my hand unless I drink more from my pineapple. I have never felt such support.
Don't cry. It's going to be okay. Well, it's probably not going to be okay, but it'll be different. Well, it's not going to be any. I mean, you'll be poor. You'll be missing $75,000. But hey, at least you'll be thinner. Well, I guess you don't really lose weight from it either. Someone stop me from talking, please.
Well, it turns out it's not so much that they have been so supportive. It's just that Shannon, just like Tamara in the previous scene, is in the process of building her army. And so she has to say that like she felt so much support because here she tells us,
I have been going through so much in my head, living by myself, burning my hand on pans. And I would have, in the past, I would have, confided in Tamara about it. I would have called her up in the middle of the night. It's like, I burned my hand again. I can't believe it. So then this outpouring of support and kindness that I'm getting right now from non-Tamaras, I just didn't expect this. It's almost like Tamara's a bad person. Shouldn't have her in my life. And these are the good people. And we're in the right.
Yeah. So they're like, you go, Shannon. You're going to be fine. So then we cut back to La Quinta ladies. And it's pickleball time. And Alexis and Jen are talking, and they're talking about how fun last night was. And Jen's like, yeah, last night we formed a Bible study and established an OnlyFans page.
They usually do go hand in hand, actually.
And then we see flashbacks of them just being wild and crazy. So then Jen's talking about how it was Will's. She's talking to Tamara, right? Is this the Tamara scene? Yeah. So she's talking to Tamara, and she's saying that it was Will's day with the kids, and she's worried that Will's going to be late to pick them up because he was always late. She's like, but he did take the kids to dinner, and that was nice. And I just wish Will and Laura and I could all sit down and say we have these 9 kids between us, so Laura, text me. And so then she tells us the story of this Laura girl, which I don't think we've ever heard, have we?
I don't.
But she's
I don't
saying,
remember
well, Laura and Will have been together 3 years now, and Laura was a friend of mine. Yeah, back in the day, she was my interior designer, one of my best friends, and then she got with Will. So I saw her on the carpool line one time, and I told her off. I did this to her. Nah. I pointed my finger. I said a lot of things. I rolled down my window. I said, Laura. Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you so much for being such a slut and stealing my husband, even though I gave him up. But you know what? That was my furniture. And just because it said for free and it was in front of my house doesn't mean that it was for you, Laura. Okay? Find your own free furniture, you stupid slut. Thank you, Laura. Thank you so much for all the interior work. You did a really
Laura
good
said,
job.
that's the last time I rent my house to you. And then Gina got all mad. By the way, Jen telling the story about going off on Laura, very, I feel like, sanitized and watered down version of what probably really happened at Carpool. Is this just what happens at Carpool? I feel like Carpool, based on this and what I've seen from Big Little Lies, it just seems like the carpool lane or the drop-off lane, that's just where moms just go off on each other. It's like, okay, whose turn is it? Oh, it's Jen's turn. Okay, Jen's going to go up to someone, and you hear like the little, can you roll down your window, please? You know what? Stay the fuck away from my man and stay away from my children. I don't appreciate what you've done, and you're supposed to be a friend to me, and you were actually just the biggest bitch in the world to me. By the way, have a great day. Okay, I'll see you later today. Bye.
Well, I think carpool lanes are like jail for moms or dads because that you can't get out. Like you get in that line, you're stuck there. And then have you ever been like accidentally locked in a room? Like one time I locked myself in a bathroom on accident. It was terrifying. I turned into a savage immediately. I was like, I couldn't get out. I was like, you just start freaking out, like hitting walls. I was like hitting random things, like to see if it would open. And I think that's what it's like in carpool, where you're driving, your kids are in the car, and then you just realize there's nowhere to go, and then your base instincts start coming out, and you just start yelling at a bitch. Like, what are you going to do?
I think it seems fun. So Jen is like, well, then I calmed down and I realized, you know what? Once I got like myself back, I thought, well, why can't we just like, get along? She's basically like, why can't we just like co-parent? So Tamara's like,
I think like she's making it sound like she like really calmed down emotionally. No, I think you realized now you've got 9 children and you're gonna have to do something. And girl, you ain't even get paid to get your nails done. Like
Exactly.
you're gonna need some help. So she's like, I shouldn't have yelled at that person because she would have been a good employee. Although fuck that girl too. Like I get that Jen's the one who left her husband and all of that, but still, you don't go start hooking up with your friend's ex-husband. That's weird.
Yeah, it's fucked up. So
Please come on
Jen,
the show, by the way. She's going to be on the
I was
show
like,
next year.
why is she not
We
on the
welcome you,
show?
Laura. Yeah.
So then Jen's saying how they have, like, Will has an apartment and the kids go back and forth, etc. And Tamara's like,
Oh, really? Have you seen it? Is it on his Instagram?
and she's like, well, I'm actually like blocked on his Instagram, so I don't see anything. Thank you so much for reminding me of that.
I've got it.
Fucking Tamara. Of course, Tamara's got the Instagram ready to make everybody cry. But wait, did we know that Will moved to Orange County? We didn't know this. She said that Will stopped working for the parents. She said that Will stopped working for her family and that he wasn't able to pay her rent anymore. But did we know that he moved to the OC? Because this is crazy. So is Will a thirsty ass husband who's going to move to the OC and now his new girlfriend is going to be on the show?
Did they both move to OC? Wasn't that her story that they both moved to OC, or is it that she moved to OC alone?
Oh, I thought it was her, but then I also thought it was weird that he would leave his kids, but then he was working for her family in Oklahoma, I thought. So I don't know. I didn't know that he'd been here this whole time, but I kind of love that for Will if he did move here just to get on the show. You go, thirsty Will.
Or maybe to be near his kids.
No, it's only who would do that? Who would move somewhere to be near 6 children? Dude, I mean, I would do it for a TV show, but 6 children? Jesus Christ. If there's ever a reason to go on House Hunters International, it's for that. I'm just here because I really wanted to retire away from 6 children. Please.
Good time to mention we have a new Dwell Hello up this week, so everyone go check that out on Wondery Plus. So anyway, so of course Tamara has it ready. She probably has already done the research to see that Will has blocked Jen. So she's like, oh, you want to look? You want to look? And so, of course, Jen's seeing footage from of her kids at Will's house, and it's making her, like, it's causing her to choke up, and it's, like, hard. It's hard to see it. She still, she's saying how she still, like, she still loves him on a certain level. He's part of her life, yada, yada, yada. So she's just, like, really sad. And then Tamara's like,
So, when you see him with the kids, and it's just them, and you're not in that picture, does that hurt you? Like you've been, I don't know, what's a good word for it? Erased.
Let me just come up with a word for it. A word I've never used before. I'm trying not to make this about myself. Erased? Are you an erased parent? Oh my god! Oh my god! Can you see my ear? Because I can only hear you out of one ear. Because one of them's been erased. Stop erasing me! One of my arms is gone. Oh, I'm armless now. Stop erasing me.
Now, look, I'm not laughing at parental erasure because I imagine it's probably just so incredibly painful for the parent, and for Tamara. Like, I'm just laughing that this is a Jen scene, but somehow Tamara still makes it about
gonna make it about being erased. Don't you remember that big Facebook post that this daughter put out? And she's like, I've asked my mother, the only thing I want from her is to stop talking about me. And this is all Tamara does. It's like, I'm not your storyline. She's like,
I've been erased. Her name is Sydney. Her phone number is 570 erasure. Erasure.
I can't even listen to a little bit more respect anymore because it's by the band. Erasure.
It's just so shameless. It's just so shameless that she's like,
oh wow, Jen, you're crying right now. Do you feel erased?
like, oh, come
She's
on.
like, whatever you're feeling, I did it first.
Jesus.
So, then
although she did kind of, because doesn't Jen's storyline kind of reek of Tamara's? Because she has this, we get to this, is it now? We get to it later. I'm sorry for jumping around, but we get to kind of a Ryan scene where Jen's like, oh, here's my son calling. And he's like, I want to go toilet paper. And she's like, yeah, I don't parent my children. I don't believe in it. I think it'll work out great. It's very reminiscent of Ryan stuff.
Yeah. So, okay, so we have a flashback to Tamara talking about erasure, etc., and she talks about Sydney. It's the usual stuff. So now we go back to La Quinta.
So she says the last time. Oh no, never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we go back to La Quinta, and now it's time for pickleball, our favorite. So it's basically Gina and Emily. They go out to the pickleball court.
Gina and Emily are like the pickleball of the housewives. I feel like they're like some people kind of like them and make a stink, but I would never hang out with those people. Sorry, pickleball people. I know there's a lot of you out there, but in general, it just doesn't seem that great to me. And it's just like, it's never going to be tennis. You know what I mean? Like, people can try and sell it to me all they want to, but it's just not the real thing. And that's how I feel about both Gina and Emily. So congratulations. You are the human equivalent of pickleball.
And this leads to one of the tried and true Bravo tropes: bad tennis on Bravo, or in this case, pickleball, which is that, oh my God, hitting the ball and no one, like Emily keeps missing it, and it's hilarious. I just want two people to be able to play tennis. Why do they keep showing us this? It's like, I can't, because you know what the worst part is when you play tennis and someone doesn't know how to play, or if you don't know how to play, you're just chasing balls around a square area, and that's just like no fun. And watching people doing that, it just takes me back to all those times you go chasing after a little ball, and it's unpleasant to me.
Thank you for that monologue, Archie.
It's a
Archie's
I
like,
want- I
all
want
that
them-
time I've spent chasing a ball.
I just want them to tap into some childhood trauma.
It led to nothing.
But you know what it's like. It's hot out, and it's like there's just I'm like, what's?
Oh
even
yeah,
point of
I
this?
come
I'm
from a
just like,
tennis family. I was forced to play tennis, and I was a chunky kid, and I could never play it, and I could never hit anything. Actually, I got okay at it, but I just hated it. I resented it. I grew up in Texas. It's hot as fuck over there, and there I was having to chase balls, and they make
Yeah.
you do the run from line to line, and I hated it. And our coach was named David, and he hated me right back. And he used to pelt me with the balls because I wouldn't run fast enough. And so he would throw the ball up in the air and slam it at me. And I
seem
still fucking hate
effective.
tennis. I still fucking hate it. And then I went home to get a little comfort, and I told my mom that I was being abused and attacked with tennis balls, and I had bruises on me. And she was like, ah, ha, 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 ha. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I fucking get it.
My tennis trauma is that I also played tennis, and I took lessons. I took lessons for like 8 years. I played so much tennis with like my instructor, but I never actually seemed to play in a non-controlled environment, like when it was not an instructor. And I was so good, like God, my backhand, a vicious backhand. It was like the Heather Dubrow of backhands. But then when I went to try out for the tennis team in high school, and I was like, you know what? All my life, I've never been good at sports, but this is one sport that I'm good at, and I can do it. And I choked. And I was like, oh. So then that was sophomore year. Then junior year, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it again. But this time, nerves were out of me, and I choked again. I was like, okay. And then senior year, I was like, okay, I'm a senior now. I could do this. And I choked again. And they didn't even give me a sympathy slot on the varsity team, because that's what they do with seniors. If you still suck by the time you're a senior on any sport, they still put you on varsity, and then you just are benched. But they didn't even put me on like sympathy varsity. And I was like, I know how good I am at tennis. I just am not very good in a real world scenario. And I feel like that just really sums up like so much of my life.
But the practice really helped, because then you moved to LA and you spent, God, your entire 20s choking on balls.
Yeah, it's a shame. I could have been at the U.S. Open if I just applied myself a little bit further.
Okay, so then Emily, so Heather and Shannon are being wacky, getting ready to play, and Shannon's like,
Oh, I put eyelashes on. So I'm not really sure if they're straight. Could you tell me if they're straight?
Heather's like, let me tell you a secret. I can't see. Okay. People tell me I'm married to Mama Elsa. And I'm like, you know what? We're just going to roll with it because I can't see. Feels like Terry to me.
I don't see. That's why I have a dedicated servant to be my eyes and my ears. So then back to the tennis court. Gina's like,
You know what, Emily? I want to talk to you.
and she's like, oh no.
No, yeah.
No, fuck off.
Listen, I know, but like, I just want to talk to you because I don't want anything. Like, I don't want to have us to have any problems ever. And like last night, you were like clearly upset at me.
Whoa, man. Well, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, Jen said to me that you were saying that Heather says, like, how high did she jump just because Heather told her?
I didn't say that, Gina. Okay. Well, I mean, I kind of said it, but like in a different way. Okay. And by the way, did they tell you when I pulled a turkey sandwich out of my purse? Because that made it hilarious.
That's fine, but then you said that, and like that pissed me off. It did, because I was reactionary. It turns out I have strong political beliefs that are not liberal. I'm reactionary.
Well, what I was saying is that one minute you're like, I love Katie. Everybody should love Katie. And then you have one sit down with Heather Dubrow. And then suddenly it's like, Katie sucks. And you fucking hate Katie. And now Katie is dead to you.
Translation, we made an agreement this season we'd go after Heather Dubrow together with Katie, and now you fucked it all up, Gina. What the hell is wrong with you?
Pretty much, and Gina tried to do that behind the scenes, and she got caught doing it. So, sorry.
So Emily does this whole thing where she's comparing Heather to the Godfather. She's like, I imagine like Heather's there and she puts her ring out and then Gina falls to her knees and lays on the sword. And, and they do this whole funny thing where they kind of like, she's narrating the scene while we're seeing footage of Heather and Terry in their home from last year and Gina apologizing to Heather. Yeah, it was a fun bit. It's a fun little bit.
Well, she's also correct. That is what Gina does. Unfortunately, though, Emily also does it. She does it for Tamra, and she's a little more forceful. She stands up for herself slightly more than Gina does, but this is like two pick-me's really having a fight of like who's the bigger pick-me when you're both just kissing asses to stay on the show, and it's sad. It's it's like watching two pickleball rackets go at each other. I can't.
And they'll never be tennis. So Emily says, you let her manipulate you. You worry about what she thinks. You're so far up her ass, which is funny because Emily's mad that Gina said that Emily is so far up Tamara's ass. And she's like, no, I do worry about what she thinks, but I'm not up her ass. And she's like, yes, you are. Like, you're up Tamara's ass, first of all. How? Tamara doesn't tell me what to do ever.
Well, I just think in all honesty, Emily, this is like just about, you know what? Like, I know you're working on it and I get it, but like, you're like being a grand bitch. And I just really don't like that. It's just not the Emily I know.
and then we see a flashback to Emily going to Jen, being like, you're so fucking stupid. So Emily goes, I've been aggressive since the day you met me, which I just think that's the funniest defense. Like, no, I'm not newly aggressive. I've always been this awful. Why are you mad now?
And she's like, but we need to work on that. And she goes, I'm 48 years old. What do you want me to fucking do about it now?
But you and Tamara do this
like literally everything else. You can't use that defense as a Real Housewife when literally you come back with a new face every year. You can't be like, I'm so against change when literally you're a new human being. Like you're in a different complete meat sack than you were last year. I don't even recognize this one.
But also, like, your last several years, I feel like your storyline has been like, I'm doing a lot of work on myself so that way my mom and I could have... Or, like, she's expecting her mom to do a lot of work. And her mom's older than her.
Oh, right. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think the storyline's ever been that Emily's working on herself. It's that everybody else needs to work on themselves.
Yeah. So Gina's like,
you and Tamara do this thing where you're like, oh, I'm an asshole. No, I'm a big asshole. High five. Like, that's not cool.
And Emily's like, oh, well, Heather's like, get on your knees. And you're like, okay, Heather.
That's not true.
It is true.
Okay, fine. Then say I'm a pussy. Okay, that's fine.
And she's like, I don't think you're a pussy. It's a difference. I wouldn't say that. I just think with her you are.
Why are you getting so aggressive with me?
I'm not. I have a weapon. I have a weapon right in my purse. This turkey sub. I could hit you with it. I didn't even hit you with it.
I don't. You know what? Everybody fucking hates me. That's fine. That's fine.
It's so Gina. This is so bratty Gina when she's like not winning an argument.
Everyone hates me. Fine. She's mad at me. They're mad at me. You're mad at me. Pickleball's mad at me. I'm out of here. Do you think I could use this as a spatula? Because I don't have one and they're really expensive. I'm taking this home.
Maybe this could be a roof to our house. Do you think this will fit over a cauldron? So, so she throws her racket to the side and like,
everyone hates me. Everyone's mad at me. Oh God, now the fucking sprinklers are on. Even the sprinklers are mad at me.
I'm like, I do actually think this house was alive. And this house was like, let's get her.
I like to think that Elizabeth Vargas is just sitting somewhere with a remote control.
Unbelievable, undeniable. Sprinklers go on.
So Gina goes in and she has to come back out because she can't get in. So she tries to storm off and it fails because she's Gina, So Emily's like, you can't even storm out, right? What kind of housewife are you? Have you had multiple seasons on this show?
Are you coming back? She's like, I have to. I went to a dead end. But just so Gina. Gina would walk into a dead end. I was like,
wait, what? She even fails at a walk-off. I mean, it's like Housewives 101. Come on.
She's literally in like a sprinkler parade. So now like Emily has now cornered her because she went to a dead end. And she's like, listen. She's like,
no, I'm wet. I don't want to go. I feel mad.
And I was like, listen.
I don't want to deal with it.
I was like, calm down. I'm going to hug you because it hurts my feelings to hear You say things like that.
I'm fucking sorry, then I feel bad.
Oh, it's like, but it feels like you think less of me. And then inside, Shannon and Heather hear them arguing, and Shannon's like, "Oh, what's going on out there?" And both of them are squinting out the window. I think what I see are two people without homes slapping each other with sausages.
I think it's a bum fight. Hold on. I'll protect us both. She holds up a cleaver. So Gina's like,
You know what? You want me to come to you and talk to you, and now look at what's happening. Like, this is what I'm talking about. I just feel like I can't even approach you. No.
and then she's like wiping the snot off of like Emily's nose and everything. And was like, you can always approach me.
But I just like I don't want to feel like I'm tiptoeing around you, because like I don't want to feel like I'm like walking on eggshells right now, because like I can't. Like I just literally bought those eggs, and like if I break them, it's like I have to go back to the store. It's just like not fair.
I know that you're going through a lot right now. I mean, just last week, Shane was trying to cook beans in your house. I said, Shane, you're going to drown everybody in there.
It's residential, not for cooking.
So I guess this is, I don't even know what they're saying. They kind of make up. And then Gina's telling us,
My relationship is so fragile right now, and it makes me fearful that the same thing could happen to me and Emily. Like, I could leave Emily because suddenly I'm making more money and I don't need her to buy me lunch anymore.
Yeah, Gina's like, my relationship is so fragile after I threw out my boyfriend. So Emily is like, I wonder why that is. So Emily's like, okay.
Which, by the way, we make jokes, but I'm all for Gina getting rid of Travis.
Oh, it sounds like it's probably the totally right decision.
Yeah.
It's just like funny that she's like, it's just like things are so rough right now. It's like, yeah, but you threw him out.
It's like so hard kicking Travis out and like remodeling the house and getting rid of all traces of him. It's very difficult.
I think Gina's actually getting screwed. I will stand up for Gina in one moment. This is an instance where I'll stand up for, which is that I think she's getting screwed in that there are probably real issues with the ex that she really can't bring up on camera. And so like all we do get is that Gina said, I'm doing well now and I have enough money to buy my kids gifts, but not enough money for to buy my kids and Travis's kids gifts. So they need to go. Like that's, so it just sounds so cold, and which I think is hilarious. I think it's hilarious that like she's getting this edit that's probably so unjust.
Yeah, I would imagine it has something to do with like child support, and her money maybe would have to go into child support for those kids. I mean, I'm not really, or the wife wouldn't have to pay the child support because supposedly the wife is from a really rich family, the ex-wife, and so she's trying to get less support because he's making money because he's with Gina, who's on TV. So, or does that? I don't know. That's just what comments I'm reading on the internet, but like whatever it is, yeah, you're right. She can't talk about it, so it's just like,
so
well. I
the
want to
worst
buy a
possible
Nintendo
excuse.
Switch for my kids, but they only come with 4 controllers, and I don't have enough money to buy 2 Switches, so sorry.
Travis had to go.
Also, did you notice I just noticed this for the first time, but when it shows Gina's family, it only shows her kids and Travis. I was like, man,
Yes.
those other kids really get the shaft.
It's fucked up. It's so
It really
fucked
is.
up.
And I'm sure that the mom's probably like, they can't be on TV or
Yeah.
whatever, but it just looks so cold. It really does. Like,
But they're not my real family, but you guys can be in the picture.
I know. That's what I think is just so funny. I don't think it's a funny situation, but I feel like it's actually a very complicated situation. But Bravo's just like, you know what? No, this is it. We'll just
let's
present
just
it
make
like
Gina
this.
look
Let's
like
just,
even
make
more
Gina
of an
look
asshole.
like the worst girlfriend and mom and like sort of quasi stepmom of all time.
Yeah, it's not bad enough that we let her dress like a metallic pool noodle in like a dime store Marilyn Monroe wig on half of her head. Let's just continue to bury her.
Let's just make her look like the most wretched person on earth. So anyway, let's go back over to Big Bear. Tamara brings Jen a Diet Coke.
You
and Jen's like,
called? Did someone ask for a Big Bear?
well, I'm out of work now, so I might as well make my way to the mountains. So
Alexis pulls Katie aside. She's like, can I have a chit chat with you real quick? Menopause, am I right? Smurfs versus the Muppet Babies. Which is that? I really don't know which one it is. Here's what I like: Red Bull, cheese, and boobs. Have I ever said that before? Oh my God, Johnny J. Johnny J. It's like, focus.
Johnny J is really going through it right now because Smurfette owes him like $50,000 and still is not paid up, and so I'm like ready to go off on that bitch.
So she pulls her aside and she's basically like, listen, Heather hates you and she's terrifying. So you need to work on that. You don't want Heather against you. Okay.
And now it's become a new thing though, where she says, I really like you. I just don't think that laughing was the right move. And we see a flashback to the golf event where Heather was like, well, enjoy this. Well, this was a lovely day. And Katie just like laughs, acknowledging this was a shit show. I'm like, was that a controversial moment right there? That laugh? I didn't think so.
Yeah, but on the phone later with Alexis, Heather was like, and then after I tell her how hurt I am, she laughed. Actually laughed. Wait a minute, why are there boats starting to circle around in the ocean like it's a big train? And then she laughed. There's smoke coming out of your eyes. It's purple. And then she laughed. If you ever come for me.
After that golf event, how many pineapples did Heather Dubrow disembowel in her kitchen afterwards in rage? Like, she's going to come talk to me like that. She just reaches in like an Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, and the guy reaches in and pulls out someone's heart. That's what she does to the pineapples.
And laughed at me. And then she laughed at me. Oh, by the way, I was thinking of Heather because I turned on Big Brother. I think it was Big Brother. Yeah, it's the only thing I'm watching on the YouTube TV. But they were playing a Kelly Clarkson interview with Reba McEntire. And Reba was like, yeah. And then basically happened was he was my manager. So it was just work. At first, it was just work. That's all it ever was. And then this black-eyed woman came in and tried to ruin my life. And that bonded us together. I was like, oh my God, Heather Dubrow made it onto this Reba McEntire interview. No, she didn't really. But I was just thinking, wow, Reba McEntire is just such a special person. I love how she talks. She's like, yeah. And then I met my man. I didn't even know I liked him. He was just business. And then one day, bam, dick in my face. God, now I love him. Gotta love him.
It's so sad that
it wasn't Kelly Clarkson. It was Drew Barrymore. Go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say it's so sad that NBC, like the producers of Orange County, have never been able to bring down one of Heather's former co-stars just to have like a lunch. Like everyone else gets to do that. Like here's I don't know, like Kristen Davis or something, or like here's what's her face, Jennifer Tilly or Meg Tilly or one of the Tilly sisters. And I'm like, is Wendy Malick, is she just not available? Like someone's got to be able to come.
Well, I know Jenny McCarthy won't even do it. I mean, that's pretty bad.
I guess they did get Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban, the HD Network.
HD Network lived on this episode, actually. So, anyway, so Alexis is saying like, yeah, she's just like very hard-headed. That's like my thing I'm going to say about her. She's like hard-headed. And Katie's saying, if Heather and I can move forward and she can get past all this, me, checking to see if she called the paparazzi on people and me getting confirmation she did call it and me confronting her and humiliating her at a golf event after she gave me a very expensive bottle of champagne. I think if we get past this, it's going to be okay.
I know, Katie. Yeah, how generous of you, Katie. Katie's like, I just wish she'd get over the fact that, I did nothing to her. You started it, weirdo. Yeah. And then she says, well, I totally will apologize for laughing. I think you're going to have to go a little bit further than that. Okay.
Yeah, that's not going to, that's, yeah. I'm already predicting disaster, a full-on disaster.
And Alexis goes, but you know what? You have to mean it in your eyes. You have to mean it in your eyes because she's going to do something I've never done to actual paper with words on it. She's going to read you. She's going to read you.
Well, I do mean it. I don't want to have this angst with Heather. We're in the same friend group. I don't want to be the only person in life who's ever actually laughed at something that Heather Dubrow said. That's awkward. So Alexis is like, you know what? This is all about kumbaya. Like kumbaya this whole trip. It's like when I'm with Johnny, where I was like, let's be kumbaya right now and have a good time. Maybe Tamara and I can have a kumbaya and bring everybody back together.
So then Tamra, yeah, you guys are what peacemakers you are, you and Tamra. Yeah, look at you. The moral
Spreading love all
peace-
season.
both of you just doing a great job with that. So then we cut to Tamra and Jen talking, and they're talking about how much fun they had. And Jen's like, yeah, but you know what? Listen, I'm so happy. I'm so happy where you and I are, Tamra. I mean, it is so nice. I've seen you sitting on a trash can all season, and you haven't even hissed at me. You haven't even hissed at me once. And it reminds me that ultimately possums are cute. They're cute, aren't they? I mean, really, I never thought so. I always thought they were terrifying until I got TikTok. And I realized they're really cute. But Tamara, you have to be nice to her because you're really, really mean to Shannon. She's like,
What do you mean I'm mean to Shannon? Fuck Shannon, stupid bitch. I'm nothing but nice to Shannon.
Yeah, but when you attack her, she goes, I feel like I don't feel like I've attacked her. And then we cut to Tamara going,
She needs to be in rehab program because she's a fucking alcoholic.
and she goes, then
I'm a
Tamara says,
helper. I just don't know how. I'm just frustrated with her. What am I supposed to do with her?
ladies and gentlemen, you are now currently watching Tamara Judge do her pivot, her midseason pivot, when she's realized she's misjudged the situation, gone too hard, and now she's going to lean into somehow I'm the victim in this, and I just am doing this out of love. So
I just want to help her. I'm just so frustrated. I can't help it sometimes.
So Jen goes, yeah, but if this is family and this is someone you love, then maybe you owe her that conversation lovingly.
Lovingly? I don't understand that word. Is that English? Loving.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I couldn't hear you. My eardrum was erased. Someone, give me a pencil. Draw it back in there. All right, listen. I would love that, but you know what? I'm protecting myself right now. I'm protecting myself. It's very difficult. All these people not attacking me. All these people not doing anything to me. Ow! Ow! Ow!
Well,
Stop it, bitch.
listen, I know she's not where you think she needs to be.
Rehab?
No, I meant emotionally. But I do think...
Emotional rehab? The music, the song rehab?
I'm not familiar. But I do think that she is doing better than she was, Tamra, based on nothing, really. I'm just going to say it because I feel like saying it to you.
So we cut back to Gina and Emily and the pickleball people. So Heather and Shannon are ready to play pickleball. So they come out and they're like, we're fine. Stop asking us questions. Okay, we just need to fight about nothing nonsensically. We're cementing our place in the canon. And
Why are you holding that cleaver? Oh, I thought this was a pickleball paddle. My mistake. I'll use it anyway.
So Gina and Emily are like, we're going in. And Heather's like, you're not leaving, are you? It's like, we'll be right back. God, we're not coming back. Fucking stupid Heather. I hate Heather. The only thing that make this day worse is Heather.
I don't understand Gina. She's coming after me. She's fighting with Emily. She's very poor. Why is she poor? What's the deal with poor people? How is it that she's so poor but not my maid? I don't understand her.
How can you expect to treat people with such terrible customer service and then expect people to pay for your crock pot? I just don't. It's not how it works, Missy.
Anyway, Heather's like, I don't know this Gina. This isn't the person that I recognize. She's changed. And maybe things at home are worse than she's letting on. I mean, by home, I mean that tiny cauldron she calls a house.
So then we get some more wacky pickleball, this time with Shannon and Heather. Shannon's actually pretty good.
I
And
blocked this out. I don't even remember them playing pickleball. I think my brain literally put on a filter and was like, you cannot take in any more pickleball.
They play it, and Shannon's actually pretty good, at least from what we can see. But then Heather almost quits immediately because Shannon hits a ball on the other side of the court that Heather's on, and Heather goes, that's too far to run.
Alfredo, can you get me the ball? Alfredo? Is there an Alfredo here?
The most I've ever related to her.
By the way, Heather, you know that tennis is Heather's favorite sport just because it's the only sport with dedicated servants to go and pick up the balls for you, and like at a professional level, like, oh, look, I love when the maids go running after the balls.
Ball boys.
Yes.
So then basically we go to Alexis. So she gets a phone call from Johnny J. And she's like, wait a minute. What? Johnny J? Johnny J? What? I love you too. I'm obsessed with you too. But what? What? Does this have to do with what I think it has to do with? I'm literally going to lose it. The gloves are off. The gloves are off. The gloves are off, Johnny J.
I'm literally going to lose it right now, Johnny J. It's like I am beside myself, Johnny J. And so Tamara's listening, and Tamara and Jen are listening, like, oh my God, So now the La Quinta ladies are leaving and everyone's packing up. And Shannon spills a jug of water on the rug, and they all are like, it's funny, etc. Now back to Big Bear, Alexis. What Shannon is doing right now is being like, so like, I'm gonna go like freaking, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. What he's doing to Johnny J, like, I'm not even sure we can have sex 4 times today, maybe only 3 times, because it's like she is doing is so, it's so like the gloves are so off right now. I'm so mad right now.
I literally hate this person. She's horrible. What could Shannon possibly be doing? You guys are suing her for $75,000, and you're suing her again. You're coming after someone for the second time with some frivolous bullshit, lady. You are horrible. Whatever she's doing is defending herself against you. I don't even know what she's doing, but you acting like such a victim. She's acting like she's crying. She's like, oh my God. I mean, he could only tell a minute of it, but I could really hear it in Johnny J's voice. He was just so upset. Fuck Johnny J and fuck
Johnny J's voice
lady.
always sounds
I'm not
upset.
falling for this.
First of all, Johnny J's voice has no modulation, and the only modulation it's ever shown was when he said, fuck Gina. But everything other than that, this is what Johnny J says. Hi.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. He doesn't talk.
Yeah. He looks like Bizarro World Al Gore. Like, I think I've said this before, but I've said this before. Bizarro World Simpson, the kid Bart Simpson, where he has kind of like a slit in his eyes. His eyes are like narrowed and evil looking. He's that version of Al Gore.
Well, I'll give him an inconvenient truth, which is that he sucks.
It's global warming. Inside your butt crack, you swamp ass motherfucker. So then we go to Alexis still crying, pretending she's crying. And so she's like, Shannon just gets like so blacked out drunk. Like she doesn't even remember what she's done or said. And so the producer goes, what happened to warrant taking the gloves off? And she goes, I'm not at liberty to discuss what happened that pushed Johnny J to the limit. That's a question that everybody's going to have to answer, that Johnny J is going to have to answer for everybody. Okay.
She's so fucking ridiculous. She's like, you're going to have to ask Johnny J. I guess if you need him to come back onto TV, you're going to have to ask him. So like, I can't answer it, but what I could do is allude to it a lot. But he really needs to be the one you speak to. It's like, well, then don't even bring it up in the first place. She goes, but we have the footage. And we have the fucking footage, okay? And like, we've held on to it this whole time. And like, we've held it. But ladies, we've got the footage. And it's coming up at 6 o'clock news. Right after the story about a family that burned down in a house. Oh, no, they're okay? Okay, good. Never mind.
Well, I'll tell you some footage I've seen. And that is years of footage of you being an absolute insufferable prick face. Okay? You're an idiot and you're an asshole. And I've never seen anything different on this show. So that's all the footage I need for now. Can't wait to see what you've got, though. I'll bet it's a whole bunch of nothing, sucker.
Yeah. And she's like, there's a lot that I know about Shannon that she probably wouldn't want anyone else to know. And then she tells Katie, goes, Katie, it'll ruin her life. And then if we have like a fast forward thing on screen, it goes 2 weeks later. And Shannon crying, be like,
What video thing? Is it that bad? What's happening? Ow! Why do people keep bringing hot pans over to me?
And Alexis is like, she lied. And all I know is that truth prevails. And then cuts to Shannon going, he is a monster. He is a monster. Why are the lights flashing? You're not flashing. You're just moving your hands very quickly in front of your face. I can't stop. I can't stop.
So back to present. Shannon's crying, and then back to present. Alexis is crying. They're both like, it's like dueling crying over Johnny J.
Stupid.
She's such a piece of shit. Like, I think I'm going to throw up right now.
So then we go back. We're in the OC, and everybody is, doing their OC things. There's dog poop issues. Okay. Katie and Matt's dog poops. Eddie's dog poops. Everybody's dog is pooping. Guys, train your dogs.
It's a big poop montage.
Let's
it's a
train
shit
our
show.
dogs. I can't believe they didn't throw one of Emily's dogs pooping everywhere. They love that too.
I know. So Genus is Genus.
Genus, something no one has ever called Gina.
So Tamara shows up at Gina's. And she's like showing her the construction. She goes,
You know what? When Travis moved out, I chose to do the construction because I was just like focused on a fresh start.
I'm like, well, I thought you guys are still in the same place. He just moved out, but now it's a fresh start. Okay. So Tamara's like,
So what's the room situation now? Oh yeah, well Nicholas really wanted his own room and Sienna didn't. And I'm going to just talk about really boring construction stuff for the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, let's talk about rooms. You know what? Let me show you the walls of my totally normal family. And the walls are scribbled on like psychopaths live there. Like
It's
they're
like Jim
drawn
Carrey in that
all over
movie
the
about the
place.
numbers.
Yes. And it's not just like, hey, let's draw on the walls a little because we're going to paint them anyway. They're everywhere and they're tiny little serial killer squiggles.
What?
Like it's
Yeah, it's
scary.
like conspiracy. Like about like I'll never tell. So
They just say Johnny J over and over again. Why are their eyes turning black? Johnny J, Shannon did this, Shannon did this, Shannon did this.
Wait a second. If you read it backwards, you know what they say? They say, live, laugh, love.
Re-attack. Gather backwards.
yes.
So Gina's like, oh my god, like all three of my kids are literally sleeping in my bedroom right now. This is like the shit I didn't even think about. And I can't even fit in there now. So now I'm on the cooch. I'm on the cooch now. I don't know where this new accent is coming from, but I look it. I look it. Are you doing it?
And then we go over to the candy shop. Little shout out to 50 Cent. So Katie and Emily and their kids, and Olivia too, I'd like to mention 50 Cent and Olivia. So they're over there, and the kids are introducing them. It's like Katie's kids are meeting Emily's kids, and it's nice and everything. And Katie is like, I'm really excited that Bandon gets to meet Emily's boys. I just, you know what? I love moving to Orange County because I feel like the people are so much nicer and they're more open and there's better restaurants. I don't know where I moved from, but I don't know that there's a place on earth that has worse restaurants and crueler people than Orange County, but that's okay.
It's not LA and it's not San Diego. It's like a perfect happy medium with no liberals. It's actually really lovely here. So, and Emily's like, "How was your trip?" So they're talking about each other's trips, and Katie's like, "We laughed so my stomach is literally hurting from laughing. Wow, what a fun time we had."
We had so much fun. Can we roll that flashback of Alexis singing Kumbaya? And that's like Alexis going, Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya, my lord.
They're trying really hard to
barrel of laughs.
And then we cut back, and Emily's like, "Well, we had fun too, except for my life being ruined by Gina. Fucking poor Gina." So she's talking about how she had it out with Gina, but they're okay now. And Katie is like, "Well, I'm really starting to figure out that I thought Gina was a girl's girl for me, but it turns out she's a girl's girl for Heather and not for me. So I'm going to call a mulligan on that one."
And Katie's like, so I'm sorry. So Gina's like, so by the way, Tamara, how was Big Bear? And Tamara's like, oh my God, Alexis is a lot. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
I love that Tamara hates Alexis. Watching her try to pretend that she's friends with Alexis just to use as a weapon against Shannon is so funny because it hurts her. It hurts her to be nice to this girl.
Yeah. She can't stand it. Especially, I'm sure she has the same resentment towards Alexis as Shannon does about that lawsuit, but she knows that she has to be friends with Alexis.
Well, especially now, because now that she's doing it again to Shannon, it seems pretty clear that it was Alexis the whole time. You know what I mean? Not to take any agency away from Jim, but she was at least a part of it. Whereas before she had some deniability, like, oh, that was Jim's thing. That had nothing to do with me. Whereas now it's like, oh, really? It just happened to happen 2 times when you're around?
Right. So Tamara's like, yeah, you know what? She's very defensive. And Gina's like, well, is she like that when Shannon's isn't there? She goes, you know what? For the most part, she's not. So yeah, basically, it's Shannon's fault. When Shannon's there, Alexis is terrible. When Shannon's not there, Alexis is really great and wonderful.
Well, I know this is a sensitive topic for you, but like when we went away to La Quinta, Shannon was able to be vulnerable there because we put our walls down, and we're not like angry at her. Did she drink? Yeah, because she likes to drink. And she's like, for me, even for you, like, look at you, Gina. You didn't have a drinking problem, right? It's not like you were an alcoholic. And she's like, yeah, I did. I had a real fucking problem with alcohol, okay? It controlled me more than I had control over it, but I'm not an alcoholic.
you know what? I did not stop drinking after I got my DUI because I felt like a loser. And I was ready to take responsibility for the mistake that I made. But, like, I wasn't ready to admit that I had a problem with alcohol. Okay, you're not helping my point. Like, here's the thing.
The point
There's
isn't
peop-
about you. It's that Shannon's an alcoholic. So could you just say that you have a problem with Shannon being an alcoholic? Can we just, like, let's meet in the middle. Meet in the middle.
You know what? That's a woman in pain, and like she really needs to have a friend, her real friends, and like you're her, like fucking best friend, and like you guys need to like get back together again because otherwise Emily's gonna turn into you, and I really don't want that.
I love that Tamara's whole thing is like,
Okay, but here's the difference. Because there's some people with drinking problems, and then there's alcoholics, and then there's people who are just like assholes when they're drunk.
I was like, oh, okay. I like that you get to gatekeep who's an alcoholic and who's not, because I guarantee to pretty much everybody who doesn't drink, you look like one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So so now Tamara's like, well,
Well, I want to have a conversation with her, and like I feel like tough love is the best thing for her right now because she feels like, okay, I got Gina on my side, I got Heather on my side, and then she's gonna go right back to her old ways.
I'm like, well, even if she does, that's on her, and there's nothing that you can do about it.
Yeah. So then we cut back to the other convo, and Katie's like, Alexis is threatening to release stuff. And I was like, well, what do you have to release? Well, apparently, Shannon did something, and Johnny J said all the gloves are off, and they're going to release videos of Shannon. And Emily's like, Shannon? What did Shannon do? Well, apparently, there's ring footage cameras of her almost running over his daughter. What? That's
Please
it?
release it. Please release
Okay,
it.
here's my first question. What was his daughter doing in front or in back of the car?
Thank you.
Was this on a freeway? Was it a crosswalk? No, that girl was blocking the car. Here's my prejudgment. Daughter's fault. Was this a 5-year-old? No, this is an adult daughter. Get the fuck out of the way. How about that? I paid for your room at the London. Okay. And if you didn't say thank you, I'd try
There's
to run your
footage-
ass over too.
There's footage. Apparently, there's footage of Shannon actually giving John's car to a total stranger. It's like that was the valet at the London. That's how it goes.
Team Shannon. I don't care.
Team
She
Shannon.
almost ran over the daughter. What is the daughter, an infant? Get the fuck out of here.
How about the
This is
daughter do
adult.
some like look, Shannon if Shannon's drunk behind the wheel, how about the daughter try to like, get Shannon out like I'm just gonna blame I will
Is
not
that what
I will
you- is that
not
what you
I will
think it
not
is?
allow Shannon to be the one who's wrong here. I will warp my logic and be like it was the daughter's fault for not preventing Shannon from getting behind the wheel of the car.
Yeah, do you think that's what it is? Like she was trying to stop Shannon, so she got in
It
front of
could
the
have
car,
been.
and Shannon still was trying to go and almost ran her over. Well, then
That
you know
actually
what?
sounds like it would be it.
Yeah, it sounds like it would be too. Don't stand in front of a moving vehicle, okay? I'm not saying that Shannon should drive drunk. I'm just saying if someone's drunk and they have their foot on the gas of something, don't stand in back of it. You know what I mean? Move.
And
Get out of the
how about
road.
John? How about John? You get your daughter out of that situation.
Yeah. And how about your dad stop being wasted and fighting with Shannon all the time too? Because he's contributing to this. And the fact that she had to leave his house means that he never came to her house. So that means she's the one who has to do all the driving. This could have just as easily been him. Listen, I'm going to stand up for Shannon because you people are literally horrible to her all season long, and nobody deserves that. I don't care what she did. You guys are dicks. And the fact that you're making me stand up for someone who did something as stupid as Shannon did shows how shitty you guys are being this season.
Exactly. Thank you. So Emily's like, I just don't understand it. If John and Alexis are so happy together, just ride off into the sunset. Why drag Shannon's lifeless body along behind you? It's like, I think
Well,
that's
I
the
don't-
issue.
I don't need to be lifeless, do I, in this
Yeah, just
example?
I don't know. I mean, you touch a hot pan 3 times and suddenly you're lifeless. You make a mistake.
So then we go to Jen and Ryan going to get a mani-pedi together. Ryan definitely enjoys a spa day. He'll do pedis, but like my marriage was opposite than that. Like trying to get Will to spend his time with me, it was really hard. It was really hard. I mean, wow. But now I have this relationship with Ryan, and he's truly my best friend. Oh gosh, look at him. It looks so good. Gets his fingernails, gets his nails. He's not such a won't. Will was a won't. Let's just face it. Will was a won't. I'm sorry, Will.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
I feel like I'm almost making a Sondheim lyric. So Jen is like, She's like, I feel like I'm like all over the place. Like so much has happened in 24 hours. You know, we went out to a bar and we see flashbacks to the bar and just more Big Bear flashbacks. And she's like, they want me to start this. They start having this OnlyFans conversation with me. And he's like, wait, what? And she's like, well, they said I should do OnlyFans. He's like, yeah, that's not happening. I know you're probably telling me with the tone that you're joking, but I also know you well enough that you might actually start one. So I'm going to say no OnlyFans. I'm putting my foot down.
And she's like, your foot? And he goes, yeah. Because, like, I mean, my foot subscription is really making a killing, right? And she rolls her eyes, but she goes, actually, probably should check to see if he has a foot OnlyFans. I mean, everyone else is concerned about Ryan makes his money, right? So, well, I mean, how does he make his money?
And so Ryan, they're just.
And I believe everything she's saying. Like, she literally does not know. She has no idea. Never going to ask.
So they're just like making patter, and Jen's talking about how Tamara pulled up Will's Instagram, and she doesn't like seeing that stuff. But then all of a sudden, her phone rings, and it's her son Dominic, and he's called to say that basically what we infer on his end is that he wants to TP someone's house in the daylight, because we hear Jen say something like, "No, you can't TP in the daylight."
But also, this guy is calling her to bring the TP. He's like, "Where is it? You're supposed to bring the TP." She's like, "You can't do that in the daylight. You're buying your son a weapon to go vandalize somebody else's home. What the fuck is going on over there?"
And then we don't know the specific ask. We infer the ask, which is like, "Can I go TP someone's home?" And she goes, "Well, I can't give you an answer on that." I'm like, Jen, what?
Your children, at least two of your children are going to be criminals. At least.
You can't just be like, you cannot co-sign your children TPing someone's house. And the fact that they think they can do it in the daytime is wild.
So they're not only going to be criminals, they're going to be bad criminals, you know? And so then Ryan is saying, listen, you don't have to tell your kids yes for everything, you know? And he says, whenever you ask them what they want for breakfast, they all five give you a different order, and you make every single order. And she's like, I know, but you know, I really like it. I really like it. I really I'm a short order cook. What can I tell you?
I just want to work on Below Deck someday. So then she says that the way she's with her kids, she goes, I coddle too much. I'm going through my divorce. It just got worse because I have so much guilt for changing their lives. But now I look like it. Now I feel like I've just sort of taught them nothing. And so we see a flashback of her talking to Dawson, and her 17-year-old, about how she wants to create boundaries for him because he's like, man, like suddenly I have a curfew and I never had a curfew. And she's like, well, I do think I need to draw the line with Dawson, but it's really hard to, because he's 17. So I'm just going to try to love him through it. And that's all I can do. It's like, congrats. You know what? Enjoy loving your way through paying his bail.
Yeah, this is not going to work out great. So then we go to a big meeting with Tamra and Shannon. Dun, dun, dun. And we've seen this a million times, right? Like literally the same scene over and over every season. So Jen is giving Tamra the pep talk, and Tamara's like, well, all the girls are saying that Shannon's doing better. That's all I want for her. All I care about is for Shannon to be doing okay. Which we know is bullshit. And the producers are like, okay, you've gone a little too far. You actually have to talk to Shannon. Okay, go do it.
I'm just already bracing for the typical, my delivery sucks. All I want is the best for you, but my delivery sucks. I just figured that was what was coming to us. And I bet it would have come had we not ended the episode. So Shannon's now calling Heather, and Heather's like, oh, how are you? Excuse me, I was just got a new delivery of pineapples. Gonna take out some rage.
Oh, well, I'm on my way to meet Tamra.
Oh, you're on your way right now? Looking like that? You look like you're going to a board meeting for rubber boats.
Why are you wearing oven mitts? Well, I just can't stop grabbing burning things. So I've got some pretty big burns on my hands. It's very difficult to drive. I hope I don't get pulled over again. I'm not drunk driving. My hands just hurt. Fun, Shannon.
Why are you wearing some sort of nautical blazer to this meeting? Are you going on one of your single-story yachts again?
She really is having kind of an Orphan Annie of a season. She had like another Orphan Annie sailor kind of outfit, and now she's doing the Orphan Annie finally gets to go to the movies or something with with Daddy
know.
Warbucks outfit. She's really leaning into the Orphan Annie thing this season, and I like it. I love
And
that
Heather,
show.
and Heather's like, this is exhausting because it feels like we've done this so many times before. How many times do we have to do this with Tamara and Shannon? And we know that these two have had so many fights and so many reconciliations because the producers don't even bother to do a montage of them fighting and making up and fighting and making up. They just let it hang in the air like, yep, we don't even have to provide the evidence. We all know it's true.
Yeah, I mentioned a few episodes ago, I turned on Orange County to watch it, and it turned out to be an episode from last season, but it was Shannon and Tamara getting ready to have a one-on-one where they were fighting and they were going to try and make up, and they were calling Heather, and Heather was packing her kids for school, and I thought it was this season. I mean, I just kept watching it. I was like, oh, well, I guess, patterns do repeat themselves, but it was actually another season. It took me 20 minutes to even notice I was in the wrong season.
It's wild. So Tamara's like,
All right, you know what? I'm gonna go in and I'm not gonna yell. I'm gonna leave with my what is it? My butthole. What do I leave with my butthole?
It's my bow. I'm leaving with my bow. That's hilarious.
So then Tamara's like, okay, so they go to the restaurant, and Shanna's trying to be very serious. And the waiter comes over. I like it. This is so funny from Shelby, our note taker. It says, the waiter asks if they want water, and Shannon looks startled as if she didn't expect him to speak to her.
How interesting.
Hello. Water? I don't know if I can trust you. I don't really know. Oh, a waiter. Oh, are we in a restaurant? that is okay. Thank you.
Oh,
Why are you
that's-
pulling out my seat? Let my seat go. Oh, yeah, still the waiter.
Oh, okay. Well, if Tamara were a real friend, she would have ordered the water for me, but I guess we see where I stand.
so Tamara goes,
So I know this is probably difficult for you, and I just want to just start off and just get it right out there that I was really hoping that you'd be the one to reach out to me to meet me.
Oh, wow. Hold on. Let me make a W with my lips and let it just hang there for a moment. Oh,
Let me
Wow.
lean forward a little bit. I'm just gonna lean forward a little bit with a. You think I'm gonna say? Am I gonna say who? What? When?
wow.
Where?
After the way that you spoke to me at that dinner, you have done nothing but defame me. She goes, defame you? I didn't say things that aren't true, so it's not defaming nothing.
You're still famous. I didn't defame you. Oh, you did. You definitely did. No, I didn't. No, I didn't defame you. Oh, you did. You actually defamed. You took the fame.
No,
And
no,
you-
no,
you
no.
took it away.
No, I didn't. No,
You gave
no,
people.
no, I
You
didn't.
told people. Who? What? Who? 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 You don't even know. You don't even know.
I ain't talking like a monkey.
Bueller is very concerned. Bueller has now stood up and been like, what?
Because now
Exactly.
Tamara is imitating Shannon. And by the way, not even pretending that she's here for peace. The fact that you drug Shannon down here and made her breathalyze into her car for this non-apology bullshit is so Tamara.
Yes. And that she starts off saying, you were supposed to reach out to me first. I'm the victim here.
Yes. And then mocks her.
So after Tamara yells at her and says, you're an alcoholic, you should be in rehab, you're wasted, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, why didn't you reach out to me? I was the one that was hurt in that situation.
So Shannon comes in armed with hairdresser advice and stays calm, right? So Tamara's like,
Oh, yeah, sure. I didn't do nothing to you. And she goes, okay, so should I tell you to calm down now? Because look how calm I am. Look how calm I am. Look, I'm talking like Katie, introducing a ball being about to be hit by an old white person in Dockers. Wow.
I know things about golf now. Tamara, you have been defaming me for 8 weeks. Defaming you how? You keep saying you're drunk. You need to be sober. You know nothing about me. Oh, excuse me. I will have a tequila on the rocks. Thank you so much.
And she says, you know nothing about me. Well, I do. I know everything about you. I know how you move. I know what makes you tick. I know how many allergens to throw in the air and make you cough. She's like, well, how dare you? I'm focusing on being healthy. She goes, oh, so you don't drink anymore? Hold on, I'm going to do this with my lips for a while. Gotcha.
I mean, I pretty much have 2 drinks, give or take 3, and I I don't think I've gone over 2. I'm just trying to think. Let's see. 1 plus 6, I think, is 2, and I'm pretty sure 2. Yeah, only 2.
You don't have to explain yourself to Tamra. I don't like this. I have not gone over 2. Who cares? Who cares if you're fucking wasted every day? Okay. I certainly don't. Just don't drive. Okay.
Yeah.
So Tamara's like,
So, you don't have a drinking problem? She goes, well, I'm very aware of it. She goes, oh, aware of what? Do you have a drinking problem? No, I'm very aware that I've used alcohol to get past my problem of drinking. No, my problem of being very upset and traumatized by alcohol, by feelings that of alcohol flowing through your jaw. Just say it, Shannon. You're an alcoholic. You're a bloody, dirty alcoholic, Shannon.
Tamara Judge, yes, I use it excessively in certain dark periods. One of those specific dark periods may have started in 2003 to present, but that's the only time I have ever excessively used alcohol.
I mean, I did put it in the bathtub and lie down in it, but that's not the same thing. just trying to let it soak through
A
my
few
pores.
dark periods. You know, when there was a total eclipse of the sun, which was a very dark period, and I did maybe have an extra cocktail during that moment. But
Don't you
who
remember the
didn't?
blackout, the rolling blackouts? Every time it blacked out, I would drink a bottle of vodka. It just made it seem lighter in the room.
mean-
My pupils would get bigger.
What's
so funny.
what's the point of having a blackout if you don't black out too? But I think we all
I
know.
thought the news said to black out. Just following the Amber Alert.
So Tamara's like, but you don't feel like sneaking alcohol is an issue, bitch. And she goes, oh, I did that one night, Tamara.
And then Tamara tells a story. We see a flashback of Tamara telling Emily and Jen that Shannon whispered to a photographer or something like that to sneak some booze into her Diet Coke, which is
Yeah.
That's not great. Not great.
Well, yeah, but she's sneaking booze in there because she wants to drink and she doesn't want you to judge her for it. I don't know. I just feel like she shouldn't have to be explaining herself to Tamara, period.
Right. Oh, I agree.
So Shannon is like, oh my God, Shannon, come on. And because Shannon says, well, I've seen you in compromising situations. So she goes, oh, come on. She's like, don't focus on me. Oh, you know what? Have I driven my car into a house? Ha, ha. Have I driven a car? No, but you've driven a ATV so recklessly that you almost murdered 4 cast members, as I recall.
Oh,
Does that count for anything? Is it just okay when you do it without a roof on the car and you're out in a place where there's no cops patrolling?
Okay. I need to walk away for a second. Sorry, Aldo. I need to. Can you get my purse? Oh God, I'm gonna walk over to this area.
So Tamara's just sitting there at the table, like, is she coming back? And the producer's like, I don't know. So Shannon is in the bathroom and she's like,
She has done nothing but hurt me and spread lies about me that are fucking character damaging.
And Tamara's just like, oh God, Mexico, stop balling. Because, Shannon walks off 10 times a season. So it's just like, oh God, here we go. Here's another break,
Well, I know what I did, and I don't need fucking Tamara Judge to be the person that decides my punishment. I don't need her to be the judge, jury, and I feel like comedy's in threes. Is there another word? There's another word that I can't do it. Someone give me a drink. I'm not doing well.
So she comes back to the table and she's like, I'm apologizing for getting up.
I have to say, when she comes back to the table, she's like, okay, I'm going to walk back to the table. So she strides through the restaurant and she walks right through a palm frond. And as she goes through the palm frond, the music goes, I rewound it 3 times.
That was funny when she walks right into that tree. She's like, boom.
I'm gonna ignore that. That did not happen. Surely they will cut that.
That is a health hazard. I don't know what sort of allergens have been transferred to my face for that palm frond, but I will be speaking to the manager afterwards.
So she comes back and she's like,
Okay, well, I apologize for getting up, but that is what I'm learning. If I'm upset, I've just got to go take a breathalyzer. I mean, did I say that? Can we do this again? Can we start this again? Move that tree. I'm gonna do it again from the top.
It's like I'm digging myself out of a hole, and like all I can see are palm fronds, and Oh, I actually think I have a palm frond on my face. Hold on one second. Okay. Sorry, I just got attached to my makeup. Okay, I feel like you are one of the people that's just trying to push me back there. And let me tell you, what I'm doing right now is focusing on myself.
You said that she's fucking on that. Well, I've kept a very small circle of people around me. Very, very small and cylindrical. And actually, you can pour liquid in there and then drink out of it. Stop talking about drinks, Shannon.
Okay, I basically have a small donut of people, and I realized,
God, I wish you could drink donuts.
is there donut vodka? Is that a thing? Listen, I have a small group of people, maybe 4 people, 3 people actually, and I realized that 2 of them are Emily and Gina, and I realized I can't go on like this.
God, the only other person I can talk to, I've only got 2 people I can really trust, Tito and Mr. Belvedere. It's been a very, very hard time, Tamara. Very difficult.
And
Talk about streaks on the China. They never really did matter before, but now I just all see them everywhere.
But, I just have a few people in my life, but I have never, ever, ever, ever had this level of support. I'm so supported. I feel so supported. She's, oh, really? And the 10 years that I was there for you as a friend and talked to you all the time about every issue, I wasn't there for you.
Tamara, you did do that, but then you constantly used anything that she's told you against her and tried to villainize her. You do it once a year. I mean, why are you acting like such a nun? It's hilarious.
I came here to try to make things better, you stupid, slutty alcoholic.
You
And all you've
drunk
been doing is
bitch.
being defensive. You're defensive like any typical whiner would be, and yelling at me this entire time because you have no impulse control because you're sad and pathetic, and every man that you've ever loved leaves you and sues you. Okay, and I'm not yelling at you. I'm just trying to help you.
No, really, you've been screaming at me. Oh, for what? For once, Tamara Judge is calm. Oh, now you're calm. For once, you're calm. Do you know how off the rails you were at that day? Hold on, let me point my finger and make it a circle. Look at this very straightened finger. Do you know how off the rails you were the other night at Gina's dinner? And then you start backing up Alexis Molino making allegations. It's like, oh, stick to your lane, Tamara. Stick to your lane.
Well, that's more than you were able to do that night. Well, you know what? I was.
All right, well, maybe I shouldn't have brought up lanes.
Okay. Let's just ease up on the gas there a little bit, Tamara. Okay. I mean.
Listen, you better learn to walk the straight and narrow. Oh, God. Okay, Tamara, say the alphabet backwards. I just can't. Can we start over?
Wait a second. Wait, back up on Alexis. Is this about the money that you owe John?
Tamara acting like she doesn't know about this, as if Alexis was not talking about it all weekend in Big Bear. She goes,
I don't owe him money. I never signed any promissory note that I owe him any money, and I paid for everything the first 2 years of our relationship. I mean, that's a lot of salmon and a lot of cream cheese. So now that I have to do, like, what I have to do and spend my time doing is going through and reliving how stupid I was to stay with that man.
It's a Serenia. It's a Serenia, bitch. It's a Serenia.
Yes, he is. He is.
He's Serenia. Oh, wow.
And my lawyer made a settlement offer today. I don't owe him anything. We made a settlement offer. I'm sorry. It's just been a bad day, and that palm tree just really messed up my eyes. I'm having trouble seeing right now.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Shannon. I'm so sorry.
He said he won't accept 1 penny under $75,000, and he said that if you don't come up with a payment plan to pay me about $75,000, they're filing on Friday. So I'm not making monthly payments to John Jansen. That's not gonna happen, and it's not gonna go through 3 years of hell again.
No, I don't blame you. Look at me. It's just being a good friend. Look at me. I'm just going to move my lips up
I
and
don't
down.
blame you. Actually, I do kind of blame you. I'm telling everyone that I blame you, but I'm not gonna blame you right now.
Well, I will not pay him $75,000. How dare he? How dare he? It's a mess. I mean, it's like you behind the wheel on a Friday night. All right. Just messy.
It's like the side of a house in Newport Beach after you've been driving on the roads. It's a mess.
So
Tamara's like, well, in 2018, Jim Polino and Shannon, he sued us. He sued me and Shannon for defamation. It was emotional hell. And me and Shannon, we trauma bonded over not knowing. So, are we going to have money in a bank? Who's going to fix the leak in Big Bear? Who's going to fix it? And, I'm friends with Alexis, but personally, I couldn't imagine going through this again. I mean, I really feel for Shannon. I really, really feel for her. And by feel, I mean, this is fucking hilarious. It's like having a poncho inside my soul. It feels so good.
And that's why I'm going to expose you to Alexis every time I get a chance to. So Tamara goes, listen, I'm having a party on Wednesday. I would like for you and Vicky to come. And Shannon's like, really?
Really? Tamara, I've never felt so emotionally supported. Tamara.
Okay, I want to give you a hug.
Oh
Okay.
my God, you sucker. Are you fucking kidding me? Ask yourself why in the world Tamara is suddenly calmly smiling and saying she feels for you and then inviting you to a group event on camera. What do you think is going to happen at this event exactly, ma'am?
I really do love you, Shannon. I do. And I love you. I love you. Oh my God, thank you for getting me out of Gina and Emily jail. It's a rough place being stuck with them, but it's great being back with you.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's been so difficult being around poor people who don't matter. Oh, thank God. We're back together again. Me and old Tam. Those Tres Amigas. Yeah, I love you so much. I just can't wait for you to come. No one's going to attack you at all or threaten to blackmail you or nothing. Show videos of you, ring cam. Nobody's going to do nothing like that in my party. Don't you worry about it.
I apologize for hurting you, and I never want to hurt anybody, Tamara. I never want to hurt. Ow! Did you just bring over a Dutch baby for me to touch, Tamara?
And that brings us to the end. So, Shannon, what a sucker. And she falls for it every single...
Yeah, no one has ever hurt me more than you. No one has ever hurt me. I'm wrecked. I will never be the same. Party? I can come? Oh, well, thank you. I feel so supported.
Thank you. Thank you for making a very simple gesture that does not fix any of the vile, cruel things that you do.
Literally hilarious. Wow. What an episode.
Amazing. What an episode. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Everyone have a tremendous weekend. We'll see you on Monday with some hopefully very entertaining chimpanzee content for you all.
Yes, don't forget to check out Chimp Crazy on Max. We will talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.